Hello, dearest friends and loves. I really do appreciate you stopping by. This is going to be a little bit of a different video compared to the ones that I've been doing really recently over the last week or two. I don't know if you've noticed, but there's been a rather massive increase of Michael Jackson going on, and I'm going to say it is not just about the biopic. I mean, the biopic was definitely a small part of it. It did help, I believe, to ignite new individuals to appreciate Michael, maybe even to change some people's perspective on him. However, I am of the understanding and absolute belief that we are going through an ascension as a race, as a humans, as the species of the human race. The earth is actually going from the third dimension, ascending up, and we're going back to where we belong. I actually have a video coming out about that in the next 48 hours, so be sure to check that one out, because it's nothing like what you probably think it's going to be. Talk about is something that I'm not a master of. I only done a few things that I would consider psychic to a degree when it comes to seeing beyond the veil, hearing, loved ones from the beyond, things like that. And the way that these things happen for me, it's probably not going to be the same for everybody, or even anybody out there, because we all have different ways of being able to sense the world around us. We have our 5 senses plus the 6th sense, which yes, we do have once we calm the nervous system, calm the body down, and we start developing more of our crystalline system. Absolutely. There are far more senses, even the clairs. If you've come to notice, the clairs, like clairvoyance, clairsentience, all the clairs are starting to become more prevalent, not only in people that are already here, but in the children that are being born. And that's all by divine creation. It's all happening on purpose. And so I wanted to share what I experienced, because maybe you are experiencing this, you just don't know what it is. And possibly, you think you're just making stuff up, but you could actually be seeing a lot more than what you believe. So, the best way that I can describe this is when I'm sitting, eyes closed, say, I'm not even fully meditating at this point, because I have been trying this for a while. I have this thing that I would do to get into this moment, which I can just kind of do now, where I would put my tongue, the tip of the tongue, right on the very middle of the roof of my mouth, which is right where your third eye would be, so I could focus my attention here, but here, in the middle of the brain, but in the middle of the mouth up, so you focus there. And so I got to a point where I was able to, and I would even move my head back, so I would take my awareness and go boop, and just thunk, and I would thunk it back, and then all of a sudden I'd get this thing. Now, I don't see colors. I don't see things super clearly, except for recently. And that is where Michael Jackson comes in. Of all people. I've seen grandparents. I have a very good friend who unfortunately passed in 2017, who is a protector of mine, a spirit protector of mine. He's not there all the time, but he sits on my right side, your left side, if you were facing me. He sits right here, and I know that it's him because he has very specific things that he does to tell me that it's him, because with the veil opening and all of these things becoming a part of life, it's not all good. There is definitely darkness out there. Good and evil exists, my loves. It very much exists. And so when you're in these places, or you're in this state, you do want to make an announcement or make the intention of, I only want to be one with light, or whatever you want to say, however it is that you want to say it. That's generally kind of roundabout what I say. I am one force. I do not want communication, images, or likeness of anything that is other than divine or divinity of light, kind of things like that. And there have been times when I've gone into like these states and I haven't made that proclamation, and all of a sudden like I'll start getting these figures that are like big and black and towering, and they do give me kind of like a sense of like dread almost. And so when I start feeling that, I remember, I'm like, oh, okay, like I need to say, and then I'll say it, and all of a sudden, boop, they just go away. Because they have to. Like, they're not allowed to stick around if you don't want them to. So you have to make those proclamations, and just know that, you know, that kind of stuff's out there. But if you have the best of intention, you know, you state that outright, you're only going to get the good stuff, honestly. So all of this started for me back in like 2020, 23, when I was going through yoga teacher training. And it was, this kind of stuff happened to me a lot when I was a kid. And it just got more and more over the years. Now, it stopped between 20 and like 35 because I had a lot of trauma I had to get through before I could do any of this. So just so you know, like, you gotta work through your stuff, you gotta do introspection, you gotta do, you know, what's the word? Like, you have to synergize everything that you do. You can't just, you know, like go through shadow work and then, you know, not continue going through that point. Because once you show yourself the shadow, you have to show the light too. Otherwise, you're just going to sit in shadow all the time and you're going to be sad and depressed and upset. And no one wants to live like that. So, if you have any questions about any of that stuff, let me know. Kind of what I do. I'm a yoga teacher and a Reiki master. That is my, you know, my career, what I like to focus on. So I eat up the spiritual stuff, y'all. Like, it's just what I do. It's everything that's a part of my life. And art, you know. So back to Michael and the, you know, spirit stuff. So about 2 weeks ago or so, no, even further back now than that, probably about maybe like 3 weeks to 4 weeks now, there's a creator that I follow who is a psychic medium, and she read Michael. And I grew up around him. However, I was not a fan growing up as a kid because I lived with a systemic racist. He still will proclaim that he is not. I don't know if he still acts the same way that he did as I did as a child, but if he does, then I don't want anything to do with that. Anyways, saw this video, and it was stating that, you know, Michael was actually saving the kids from Epstein, that he, you know, built Neverland not only for himself but also for the kids, and that he was a legit angel, and that he had like the most profound rainbow golden like aura that she had ever seen. And she's been doing this for over 10-something years. That's saying a lot, because I've even had readings with her, and she's freaking amazing. Akura, Akura, I love you, babe. I love you so much. Like, thank you for everything that you do. I wish I was in Germany so that I could hang out with you and your boo. Anyways, so after I had, like, you know, this aha of who Michael was, I took a deep dive back into his music. And then I found some amazing YouTube channels. You need to check these places out. It's called The Detail and Hannah Savage. Both of those channels do deep dives into Michael. And the one thing I really like about The Detail is on most of their videos, they are unbiased. You know, like, they just present things as they are. And Hannah, I love you too. Oh my goodness. I cannot wait for your next video. You even liked one of my comments the other day. It was pretty awesome. But yes, don't get me wrong. I absolutely love you. I'm just letting the people know that you are totally on Michael's side, as am I. As am I. You should check out my skits and let me know what you think, girl. Maybe we could do a little collab at some point. You know, I'd be down. I'd be so down. Anyways, but yeah, no, Hannah's amazing. If you ever see this girl, just know I love everything that you're doing, and keep it up. Like, just keep up the good work, and we will make this better. We will make it better. And as you can tell, There was nothing that Michael ever did in his life that ever should have made people treat him the way that they treated him. If you just look at the facts. Not hearsay. Facts. So, I'm eating all this stuff up, listening to his music every day. Still, I'm actually looking for all of his CDs right now. Because I refuse to give that company money. You know who you are.